Howdy Pit Masters, today we're doing smoked baby back ribs on the Traeger. So first of all, what we're going to do before we rub these ribs up is we've got to remove the membrane off the back, which is that small bit of silver skin on here. Best way to do this is make a small incision with a sharp knife in the corner, and if you grab a bit of paper towel, you should be able to rip it all off in one big stroke. Didn't exactly work here, got most of it, and we'll just do another little rip to get the bit that's left on the right side off here. But if you plan it right and you cut in the right corner and you get a good grip, you should be able to rip it all off in one go. But we'll do it in two this time. Right, so we've got the membranes off all three of these racks of ribs. And now we're going to pat dry these down with the paper towel and then get our rub on. So I'm using Kansas City butt spice, which is my go-to for pork ribs because it's an awesome sweet and spicy flavour. So we're going to rub these up really liberally. Like, we're going to really apply a hell of a lot of rub to these ribs because it's just really going to be the base coat before the other flavours come in later. So we're going to just make sure this rub all sticks in. Now we're going to turn these over, get a bit of rub on these undersides as well. Like I said, we want to get plenty of rub on these ribs. We want them full of flavour. Alright, we've got our pork ribs rubbed up. Traeger's at around 250 Fahrenheit, hickory wood pellets. Let's get these things in. Alright, we're going to come back and check these things in about an hour, and then after that we're going to spray them every 45 minutes or so with just water, keep them moist, and then around the 2.5 hour mark we're going to wrap these things in butcher paper. So about an hour and a half in, spritzing every 45 minutes with water. We're just going to give it another little spray now, and then in about maybe 45 minutes we'll be ready to wrap these things up. Alright, so just spray these up a little bit. And that's just going to stop these ribs from drying out. So we'll do this every 45 minutes or so. About an hour in and they're looking great. Alrighty, so we are now about 2 hours in, or yeah, just over the 2 hour mark. And now what we're going to do is wrap these up in butcher paper, but not before we cover them in maple syrup and brown sugar. Now some people use butter, mustard. Most of the time I tend to use apple juice, so I just create like a little apple juice boat in here with some brown sugar. But sometimes maple syrup and brown sugar are just an awesome combination as well. So we're going to use the syrup to get this brown sugar to stick all over these ribs. We're just going to rub them up to the point where we've degranulated that sugar, get it on both sides, and rubbed into the point where it just becomes part of the rib racks there. You won't be able to see it, but it'll add a nice colour in once we've rubbed these down. Might add a bit more syrup here, but then we are good to go. So now that we've done that, we're going to boat them up and wrap them up real tightly in this butcher paper. And what that's going to do is seal in all those juices. It's going to not allow as much smoke in, but it's going to allow them to really stay moist and stop them from drying out, and they're going to cook in those flavours. Alright, we'll put this back on the pit and we'll come back in about an hour. Okay, so these have been back on the pit for about an hour. So we're going to unwrap them and put them back on for another hour or so, and then we're ready to sauce them. These smell and look incredible so far. Let's get them back on the pit. These are looking real good. It's been another hour. Let's do the bend test and see if they're ready. So I'm going to lift them up, and if both sides of the rack still touch the grate without breaking, then we know they're ready to pull off. And these racks of ribs are about ready. Let's get them off and sauce them. Alright, I'm just using a barbecue rib sauce of my choice. You can use whatever you want. I don't have a brush or mop today, so I'm using this little weird utensil, but it does the trick. So we're going to sauce these things up real good, then get them back in the smoker for another 10 minutes to allow that sauce to caramelise. But first, I'm a big sweet and spicy fan. So to my rack here, I'm just adding some jalapenos. Gives it a real nice heat once those jalapenos bake on and cook on into that sauce. And it becomes like a toasted jalapeno, spicy and sweet rib rack, and it is amazing. Alright, they've been back onto the smoker for 10 minutes and taken them off. The sauce is all caramelised and we're ready to slice. It smells incredible. They're cutting with super ease, and these are just going to taste incredible. Line these up all nicely, always good for presentation. Oh, these are slicing just perfectly. These ribs are coming out awesome. Check that out. Job well done, everyone. These have come out absolutely superb. And there you have it. Competition style baby back ribs, one with jalapeno, because who doesn't love heat? And as you can see, they were going pretty quick. Huge success. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark from Grill Mark's Barbecue. Till next time, keep smoking.